You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hola, Americanos! You have found it. It is the Loftus party. We got a great one. There's so much going on. I just want to get started. I'm Michael Loftus. We're joined once again by the OGLG, the original Gangsta Liberty Gypsy, broadcasting from the Freedom Bunker, located somewhere east of Juarez.
East of Juarez, far east of Juarez.
Right? But it's true. You are east of Juarez.
Yes, that is not a lie.
We don't want to give away your location.
No.
We got Stacy with us and your Twitter handle. Let's just get that out of the gate.
Oh, sure. My Twitter handle is @ScottsFire, and you will see me ranting there frequently.
That's a good one. Lots of good stuff there. And here's mine at Flipside Loftus. At Flipside Loftus on Twitter. If you're over at Mike Loftus Comic, you're probably getting bored.
But, that Mike Loftus Comic guy, he's just not funny.
Well, he very rarely tweets. I found this. I found that out to be true. So we got so much going on. I love the Twitter. I feel it's very liberating. I'm addicted to it. I should be addicted to Facebook, right? That should be where my addiction lies, because that's where all the people are. However, I just find Twitter to be so much more convenient.
Well, it's a lot more convenient, and it's pithy. It's 140 characters or less. I mean, if you literally had a story to tell, you want to tell your story on Facebook.
Yeah. Everyone I know who's still on now. Granted, the Flipside television show, we're still very active on that Facebook.
Yes,
that's where we live. That's where we reside. But so much going on, and I guess everyone I know who's spending a lot of time on Facebook, it's all just political wars. It's all just battle lines being drawn, and everybody's upset and everybody's angry, and interesting times. Interesting times.
I wrote about it.
What did you write about it?
Well, a certain portion of the population, and they tend to go to the extremes anyway, is suffering from what I phrase as one of two diseases. The first is Trump derangement syndrome, which simply means no matter what Donald Trump does, it does not matter. It will be wrong.
Yes. I would say everyone in the media has Trump derangement syndrome.
Everyone who identifies as a Democrat has it.
Yes. TSD.
Yes.
TDS.
And there's this portion of folks on the right that are just still there. And boy,
now what What do the other people have? If a bunch of people have Trump derangement syndrome, the other people must have what?
I call it herpes simplex Trump stage 4.
Herpes simplex. See, now here's what I find this very telling. Why do you have the name of a real disease in the pro-Trump people's name? Why do you call it herpes?
You know what happened is that actually erupted during the primary, and I just kept it. Honestly, I didn't coin it. I don't remember who did, but I found it hysterical.
So if it's herpes simplex Trump, the other one should be like warts or something, or gonorrhea derangement syndrome.
I don't know.
You got to throw in the real disease with the other name.
When I see deranged, I see like foaming at the mouth, and I think it's an ugly word, so that's why I used it.
Yeah. So are you trying to be the voice of reason here?
I think there's a lot of us that are trying to be the voice of reason. I mean, even most of the folks that I know that were staunchly never Trump during the primary, or only voted for Trump because he wasn't Hillary, are just like, okay, let's take a look at this, like issue by issue by issue by issue, and, support the right things he does and go, well, wait a minute, on the things we don't like so much. That's like what grown-ups do.
I'm losing my grip on being the voice of reason. I really am. And maybe I'm just behind the times, but I feel like it's just every day it's a new just media bombardment of half-truths, flat-out lies, and fallacies that I want to start swinging back. I just feel like I'm ready to be so anti-bullshit media that I'm just going to start sticking up for Trump just to see what happens.
Well, I mean, that's not too far from my stance, because when I look at what's happened over the last couple of days and the executive order that was put out on Friday, I will say this, D+ for timing, folks. You don't do something that complicated on a Friday. That's just not a good idea.
Oh, sure you do. Sure
no,
you do.
you don't.
Why not?
Because I'll tell you, the one thing about Donald Trump, okay, is he does have some very good spokespeople. Sean Spicer's couple of press conferences, I think he, other than that first one, which was kind of like, okay, I have no idea why you just did that. But in the press conferences he has had beginning, Monday of last week, he's doing a very good job.
I think so too.
There's things about it I like. The Skype seats for the people in the Midwest that can't be in D.C., bringing more people into the process. I think that's an excellent idea.
Okay. We're drifting far from the subject here.
Right.
We're talking about the executive order.
Well, but what I'm saying is, with this executive order, like I said, okay, I'll support Trump when he does good things, and I'll call him out when he does things that I don't agree with or don't follow my principles. What the media has actually made me do is defend the man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the Muslim ban. Let's just say it.
It's not a Muslim ban.
It's a Neil Young song. Muslim man better keep your
Oh my God.
Muslim ban. I wish I could play that. Yes, it's not a Muslim ban.
It's not a Muslim ban. Because you know who can enter the country?
Muslims.
Muslims from all but 7 countries, to include Israeli Muslims, and they do exist.
What?
French Muslims, Indonesian Muslims, Egyptian Muslims. They can
Stacey,
all come back and forth. You know who can't?
Christians.
Syrian Christians, Iraqi Jews. They can't.
The wacky Iraqi Jews. There's so many songs here. There's so many great little rhyming things. Now, here comes the rhetorical question of the podcast. Why, oh, why are they calling it a Muslim ban if it's not?
It's that beautiful, beautiful thing called narrative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is why it makes me just want to scream from the rooftops, yeah, I support Donald Trump. Absolutely. Like I have zero patience for this. Zero.
My
Like
patience is
the
getting
media.
really
The media
thin.
has say, "Oh my goodness, I'm done." Mine snapped like a rubber band a couple days ago. But it's like just to watch the media. To watch the media just encourage this. All these people who are protesting, God bless them. God, yay, protest, rah, rah, rah. But, like, honestly, it's a waste of your time. Like, everything that's been done is perfectly legal. These aren't, like, names that Donald Trump just grabbed out of a hat. He's going off of Obama's list of countries.
Mm-hmm.
Other presidents have done it. There's no new precedent here. There's nothing new under the sun. But it's just like the media just, like, poking this big, stupid bear. That is the far left.
Well,
Like,
and the
go get 'em,
bear
kids.
just
Go
keeps
get 'em.
getting dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber. It's like they put the bear on acid at this point.
Yeah. It's like the bear's been eating mushrooms and tranquilizers.
Yeah.
And it's just
It
like
took all the
rambling
Xanax
around
that I want
JFK.
other people to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I usually stay away from religion. Here's the good thing about the executive order / or AKA Muslim ban. Here's the great thing that came out of it. And this is what I said about Trump back in the early days when he was running. At least we're talking about illegal immigration, right? At least now we can talk about it. At least now we can talk about not all terrorists are Muslims, or not all, yeah, but most. I totally screwed up that quote. What am I looking to say here? Not all Muslims are terrorists, but most terrorists are Muslims. All right, what about this one kid? What about that one kid? You know what? It doesn't matter. I like that we're talking about it. I feel like we can now have an open and honest discussion.
Well, we can only have an open and honest discussion if the opposition party is willing to engage in the same, right? And that's the problem with having these really, really culturally entrenched narratives. Now, yes, that was the thing that puzzled me yesterday, honestly. Where are you getting these countries from? They're not in the order, with the exception of Syria as it relates to refugees. Where is this coming from? So you actually look up the code. Oh, Why, this was a law that was put into effect under the Obama administration.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's completely hilarious. And the other thing that I find completely hilarious is if you read the reasoning behind the order. So these would be President Trump's contentions in making this order as part of securing the American border, etc. One of them is it's not safe for us to have people in this country who would do harm to protected groups such as, people based on their gender, their sexuality, their, religious status, etc. So every identity group that the left likes to, claim as their own was actually in his order as saying we have to test these people not for religion but for values that tell us that they can peacefully coexist in societies with people not like them.
Yes.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't think so either, because, and this is just me as an armchair historian, if you look at predominantly Islamic societies, other religions don't do so good. You don't find a lot of synagogues in Muslim countries. You don't find a lot of churches. It's not the most tolerant historically.
No, not historically. And I mean, again, let me say this. I am also a huge defender of the vast majority of Muslims in this country who are secular Muslims.
Yes.
Okay, I do not believe that the coworkers and friends that I've had in the past are sitting there secretly wishing someone is going to behead me, okay? Or they would not speak up if they thought someone else was going to do harm to people in this country.
Ooh, like the Orlando shooter's wife?
Exactly.
Yeah, they found out she knew. Did
they find her?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
yeah,
they did?
They tracked her down. She was living in California. She knew. She knew, and she said nothing.
Well, I mean, these people that I've worked with, their daughters go to prom in strapless dresses. They don't wear hijab. They go to university. They marry who they want. They're secular Muslims. I also know the things that happened to some of them and their families after 9/11. Some of my friends who are actually of Indian origin were balled into, the Muslim freakout that happened after 9/11 in some areas. Right. We can't be so scared that we look at an entire population of the boogeyman. The people we need to be scared of adhere to a very radical and literal interpretation of the Islamic text and would like to drag us all back to the 8th century BC.
And I say no, thank you.
I say no,
and America
thank you.
America has a long and storied tradition at looking at large groups of people. Like second president of the U.S. almost did it. He wanted to throw out Adams, wanted to get rid of all the French people. He's like, nope. I don't think these people have the best interest of this young country at heart. I think they're looking to take this country over for France, and he came really, really close to throwing them all out. And that's where you get the Aliens and Sedition Act. Boom. Thank you, Internet.
And what did Jimmy Carter do during the Iranian hostage crisis?
He said, no people, I don't know why I'm using this voice. He said, no people from Iran, welcome.
Bye.
Yeah, and no one freaked out.
No one freaked out.
It's wonderful.
And
I know.
Wasn't Jimmy Carter a Democrat?
What? And remember the last time we had camps? The last time we rounded people up and put them into camps?
Yeah.
That was a Democrat too. The last time we were asked to spy on our neighbors, that was a Democrat too. Yeah. FDR did way to see us through World War II, but you held on to power a little bit too long and you threw people into work camps. So don't talk to me, you wackadoodle people protesting. Boy, I'm glad I'm not at the airport today. I got a flight coming up. I'm heading back to Los Angeles for new tapings of the Flipside television show.
Yay.
And I am so glad I'm not at the airport today or yesterday. I would have been livid. You see these little clips on YouTube and on Twitter of people who, like the protesters who are blocking the roads. Here's the other thing, and we're kind of all over the board. Actually, no, I take that back. We're doing a pretty good job of staying on task. But like these protesters in Seattle who
that
are
was
stopping,
great.
who are right. These people are like, Trump is Hitler. Trump's a fascist. Here comes the fascist thugs to beat us up. And then you stop a bus And then here come the cops to tackle you and to arrest you.
Mm-hmm.
You're making it happen. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes,
but it was
it is.
glorious to watch. There's a new one out today. Some guy's trying to cross a street, and the protesters are all locked arm in arm, and this dude just breaks through. And they go to swing on him, and dude defends himself. And then one little jackass tries to poke him with a big long stick, and he knocks the stick out of his hand. Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
There was a great short clip, short clip of video on Twitter that I swear to God I watched 10 times and just laughed myself sick. Some young protester in France had a balloon animal. Did you see this?
Is this the one that got popped?
She was hitting a police officer in the head with a balloon animal,
yeah.
which, by the way, is assault.
Right?
Just saying.
Yeah.
And he bats it out of her hand. She screamed like a toddler.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic clip. It's like bong, 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 pop, and then she just freaks out. It's hilarious.
If you haven't seen it, seriously go look for it. But back to this whole executive order, too.
Yeah.
The other thing that everyone is ignoring, even people on the right who are all of a sudden, everybody has constitutional rights. No, they don't. Is you all freaked out under the Obama administration because you thought they weren't doing enough. They wouldn't call radical Islamic terrorism what it is, and you felt they ignored it. What Trump has specifically asked for in this documentation is a process survey, streamlining the processes between the 3 agencies that deal with people coming into these countries so we're all looking at the same stuff, okay?
Yeah.
A database of the documents used for people to prove their identity so we're sure people aren't using the same documents and being different people, and an analysis that says, is this country one that keeps enough data and information about its citizens that we can safely accept them? Living here in the United States, I think there's a lot we take for granted. I can get a driver's license. I can get a passport. I have a birth certificate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you go to Syria, if you go to Iraq, if you go to Iran, you may see some of this type of documentation in their urban centers. As you get out, it just doesn't exist. And for something as war-torn as Syria, how many public records do you think they have left if you look at what Aleppo looks like?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And this is going to sound so harsh, so harsh. We cannot be the savior of the world. We have no moral obligation to save everybody. We simply cannot do it. We're like a lifeboat, and if we try to save everybody, the lifeboat's going to get overturned.
Oh, all you have to do is look
Rwanda,
at Germany.
The genocide in Rwanda. Nobody. That was horrifying.
Completely.
That was a straight up Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
And like George Clooney, God bless his heart, he literally tried to get some help and let's do something. And everybody sat idly by. So sorry if I don't stay up at night worrying about the people who are at risk in some Middle Eastern country that got wrecked by the previous administration. I'm very sorry. I wish it wasn't happening. I feel bad. We cannot save them all. I'm going to put on my oxygen mask first, and then I'm going to reach across the aisle and help the other passengers with their life mask.
I mean, I think when we're looking at pure genocide, when you look at the Yazidis, when you look at the Syrian Christians, I mean, Syrian Christians used to number 2 million. They're down to about 400,000.
Yeah.
And those groups can be easily vetted through their religious leaders. Glenn Beck has been doing it for a couple years. Say what you want to about Glenn Beck, but he has been passionate about the cause of Syrian Christians for a number of years now. So I think when we're seeing outright genocide, the global community should do something. It shouldn't be just the United States. But It was really funny because the problem of minority religions in those regions was not being addressed through any refugee program, not in Europe and not in the U.S. So I think there is some responsibility when something like that is going on to help broker a solution. But the other thing I think is, why do we want all the Syrians to be somewhere else? Now, wouldn't we like some Syrians to be able to return to Syria when this is over? Because wars do end.
Well, yes. And this brings up the great question, the $60,000 question. This is a funny, lighthearted look at the news, and it's just pretty dark today. But has Saudi Arabia taken anybody?
No.
That astounds me. Like I
Neither
keep
has
seeing that.
Kuwait, neither has Egypt, neither has, I mean, as far as being accepting, and part of that has to do with, and I'll just explain it a little bit, is the various sects within the Muslim
So
religion.
it's a Sunni Shia thing, right?
Sunni, Shia, Wahhabi, the whole thing, that
Wahhabi.
most stable countries have a majority Muslim population of one sect, or they have a minority population sect that has become an authoritarian over the majority. And whichever one of those it is, it's stable. And
Well,
to upset
until
that
until
balance would
Saudi
be dangerous
Arabia
to
until
them.
Saudi Arabia takes we don't take. That's my policy. Until Kuwait's up their borders, we don't take anybody. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all of them. All of them. And the thing is, like, if your house burned down, if my house burned down, my neighbor hopefully would be like, hey, live here while you fix your house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go, you know where I need to go? I need to go to Alaska until my house gets fixed.
Well, and I think, not just in terms of having real discussions about the dangers of radical Islam is what Trump has brought us. He's brought real discussion about what it means to immigrate to the U.S. and what we should expect of people. No, I think this is wonderful. What we should expect of people who come here. And when you look at all of the various cultures we have been able to successfully integrate from Asia, from Europe, okay? It comes down to people who are ready to embrace Western values of individual freedom, right? You don't get to tell me what to do unless you're the federal government. Individual freedom and, diversity and diversity of opinion and diversity of religion. If you can't accept those things, you are not going to be happy here. We should probably not have you come here.
America is a melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to make sure that every new immigration cube of cheese melts into the rest of the cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, we're just adding too much cheese. And it's never going to melt. And I love my melting pot fondue.
Oh,
we got Syrian cheese and Mexican cheese and Colombian cheese. We got too many cheeses. We got to let them melt.
I don't want to live in a world without tacos and Kung Pao chicken.
Me neither. Maybe. I'm just going to say this out loud. Maybe a taco full of Kung Pao chicken. Doesn't that all of a sudden sound delicious?
It does.
If you take like General Tso's chicken and put that in a taco, I think we might have just invented something.
With some Asian slaw.
I'm not a slaw guy. I can't do
Not even
slaw.
Asian slaw?
No.
Wow.
There's just something. I feel like I'm being tricked. Like every time. Every time.
So you probably don't eat German potato salad either.
Like, no, potato salad. I'm down with potato salad.
German potato salad?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
My brother's wife is of Germanic descent, and she makes a killer German potato salad. I feel, but even like with honestly, now that I think about it, as I'm saying it, I feel like I'm getting ripped off a little bit with potato salad. Like potato salad, like no, a potato is like 2 cents. Mm-hmm. And then you chop it up and you throw in some celery and a dollop of mayonnaise and you call it potato salad and you charge me $1.25. Screw you!
Oh, you're getting ripped off. You're not. I get it now. I thought you meant like you felt misled by Asian coleslaw because you expected it to taste one way and it tasted another way, which is why I brought up the German potato salad. This
is going to get really racist. I feel like I'm getting ripped off with every Asian dish. It is very rare. Like I have, there's a list of Chinese restaurants that I like, and I can count them on one hand where they're not incredibly misleading. It's horrible when you go into a Chinese restaurant or in the Thai. Those people are big time menu liars, right? You order you order some chicken dish and it comes with fucking 3 pieces of chicken and watercress and celery and scallions and carrots and all this other crap. It's like, you didn't even list that on the ingredients. Like, if you're calling something General Tso's chicken should be the main ingredient. You can't just like go, ooh, look, there's a bunch of carrots and celery and scallions and watercress and eggplant and blah. Ooh, and look, if you look closely, there's 1 piece of chicken. That's not what I ordered.
I have never had that issue.
Oh my God. I have it all the time. I
Wow.
have it all the time. And then they'll go, ooh, this is spicy. This is spicy. And it's never spicy. It's never spicy. People are like, oh, be careful. This one's spicy. It's never spicy.
You know what you do with those people?
What?
You take them to an Indian restaurant and order them a lamb vindaloo hot.
Oh my god! And here's the thing. And other I was on a writing staff recently when I was working on the Charlie Sheen show, Anger Management, and these people on the writing staff, they're like, "Oh, we shouldn't get Indian food. Loftus won't like it." It was like a Life cereal commercial.
What?
And I love Indian Indian
So do
food.
I.
It is because they don't lie. When an Indian dude tells you it's going to be spicy, hold on to your buttholes. It's going to be spicy. But basically, it's chicken and potatoes. When you order tandoori chicken, the number one ingredient is chicken.
And it's the coolest color in the world.
And here's the one I can't believe still, and I'm going to take a lot. And I used to do a bit in my stand-up about this, like sushi. I cannot believe that this still is popular. It's one of those things where I could have sworn it was a fad. I could have sworn it was just a shitty, like, early 90s fad. And how it hangs on is just beyond me. That people are paying top dollar for some shit fish that has not even been cooked. Like, that is the ultimate joke. That is the ultimate. I don't feel bad about dropping atomic bombs on them anymore because they're charging way too much. Like, hey, what if we took some raw fish and wrapped it in some shit that washed up on the beach? Like, it's literally raw fish wrapped in seaweed. And people, oh, I'll give you $50 for that. Are you high? And then
they might be.
Then they're like, oh, you gotta try it with the wasabi. And it's like this green shit paste that's so spicy. You can't taste anything. Why don't you just eat a box of crayons and dip it in hot mustard? Like, what are you doing? Like, it doesn't make you cool. It makes you an idiot. It makes you a moron.
So, like, when we go to D.C. for a conference that we shall not name until the next podcast, I should not suggest we go out for sushi.
No.
I don't eat it either.
I will mock people relentlessly. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the President of the United States. I will just mock him to his face. I can't believe you're eating that. Seriously.
Oh, my God.
I have no patience for the sushi eaters. Like, and oh my gosh, what I can't remember what I was
I'm the only one in my family that doesn't eat it.
Why? Why do people eat that food?
I don't know. I actually worked in a Japanese restaurant, a sushi restaurant, when I lived in California.
Yeah.
And one of the gypsy stops. And,
that's what I was just about to say. I'm glad you beat me to it.
It was required that I try various stuff. And I mean, I was like fine with the teriyaki chicken, the tempura. I mean, that's cooked. Fried is always good, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Even the, what do you call it? The grill there, the grill where they put it out in front of you and they do all the demonstration cooking and chopping of
like
your
the
meat.
Japanese
Hibachi.
steakhouse.
Yeah. That's fine. They would make me eat raw fish. Like, here, Try this today. Try this today. It was like a condition of the job. So me, being the age I was, on one particular Friday night, I had a bit much to drink.
Good.
Having a good time, this, that, and the other thing. I was not feeling well the next morning. Do you know what those jerks had me try the next morning because it was a special?
Oh, the eel.
Baby octopus. The whole thing. I said, I can't. Literally, dude pops it in my mouth and covers my mouth with his hand.
Oh.
I went and got so sick in the bathroom. Just the idea of a squid inside your,
Oh,
like
that's
a whole
very
one.
good. That's so tasty.
No, it
that's
wasn't.
$25 a roll. Here, try
not
this.
At all.
This is a blowfish butthole. It's a delicacy. We don't even wash. You
can
really
tell
taste
Americans
the butthole.
Anything is a delicacy.
Oh my God! Well, and I tell you, we had Pete Correale on the show last week. He's reading a book about North Korea, and you know, there's no more frogs. He was telling me this last week. There's no more frogs in North Korea. They have eaten them all.
Okay, here's what I hate.
Gotcha.
Oh, try a frog leg. It tastes like chicken. No, I'll eat chicken.
Yeah, that's
pretty much where I'm going with that one.
Yeah.
And, I've eaten
so
bear. I've
that.
eaten boar. I've eaten alligator. I've eaten antelope. I eat deer on a regular basis. I'm not eating a frog. I'm just not going to do it.
And I hate it. I hate it. And this is so glad. I'm glad you brought this up. This brings up an old joke. I can't believe I forgot. I totally forgot this joke. People go, just try it. Just try it. And if you don't like it, you'll never have to do it again. Just try it. If you don't like it, I won't ask you to do it again. Just try it. If you don't like it, I'll never ask you to do it again. I wish I could do that with sex. Just suck it. And if you don't like it, you'll never have to do it again. Just put your mouth on it. That was the joke. See, but you're laughing. That was like the second year of me doing stand up.
Oh wow. Good times.
Just good times. Just suck it, and if you don't like it, you don't.
Yeah. There you go.
Memory lane. Okay.
Because when you were first going on and on before you got to the end, I was going to say that's what people tell me about grits.
Oh, you know what? Now have you ever tried grits?
I have tried. I've lived in Savannah, Georgia. I now live in Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, I have tried grits in every conceivable fashion, and I think it goes back to this. I was an oatmeal kind of kid. I liked my Quaker oats. One of my grandmothers always fed me cream of wheat, and I hated it.
Yes.
And that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, my wife is a huge grits fan.
Ugh.
She loves them. I am not.
Grits,
now,
polenta, mushy food.
My wife loves grits. We're big Quaker Oats people. Now, many moons ago, before I met my wife, I dated a girl who was a Quaker.
Like an actual Quaker?
Yeah, straight up Quaker.
You know they don't have sex.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm telling you, that's why they died out.
No, they're doing great. The Quaker population and the Amish population are growing by leaps and bounds.
Maybe they changed their rules, but like I used to live near the original Quaker homestead in upstate New York, and yeah, pretty much that they died out because they didn't have sex.
Oh, well, don't tell that to the girl that I used to bang on a regular basis. But here's the Quaker joke about the Quaker oatmeal guy, because he was a Quaker, and you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to go out and sell stuff and, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So the big Quaker joke was the Quakers went to Pennsylvania to do well, and some of them did very well. Ooh, that was a racy Quaker joke.
There you go. I don't know too many racy Quakers, and the only Amish I know that are racy are in their Rumspringa.
Yeah, it's wild, but I actually did some research about this a few months ago. The Amish population is growing by leaps and bounds, and there's something very, 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 very appealing about it. Like I've thought about it. It would be great. It would be great just to be completely disconnected from your iPhone and your laptop and your television, and just be completely self-sufficient and not worry about anything. When the Great Depression came and people were just like freaking out and losing their minds, the Amish and the Quakers were doing fine. They didn't even blink. Nothing changed.
A related group to the Amish are the Mennonites, right?
Yes.
I did a lot of meetings in places of business in Kansas, and they like to use this Mennonite caterer. You would lift the lid on the meat dish, and you had no idea what it was. None.
Like Mennonite sushi?
Like I start to think of haggis and and tongue and like various parts of certain animals put together in ways that they used to make these huge meatballs, and you could what's in it you don't know.
Yeah, no, thank you.
But you know what?
Thank you.
You know what almost made me. I read this morning, and it really almost pushed me to the point that I can't defend Trump.
What?
He eats his steak well done.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, gross!
No, that's fine.
That's awful. That's how you ruin a good steak.
That's a personal choice. That's a personal choice.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say something like he puts ketchup on it or blah blah blah.
I don't know that he doesn't.
Well,
one thing he says is he loves fast food because it's not contaminated.
I love that too. And I tell you what, there's a great logic behind that.
Not really.
Sure there is.
No.
When somebody gets sick at a fast food restaurant, they flip out. They flip out and they go to great lengths to make sure it doesn't happen again. Because when people get sick on your food, it's really, really bad for business. He loves his McDonald's. He loves his KFC. That's all good stuff.
That kind of makes you sort of a vegetarian. There's more soy. That's why they can't call it Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore. There's more soy in it than chicken.
Oh no, they don't. They didn't call it. They don't call it Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore because fried was like a trigger word. People are like fried. That's unhealthy. So they're trying to change everybody. KFC. Just call it KFC so you don't say the word fried out loud.
Yeah.
I had some KFC a couple weeks ago, and dangity ding dong dang. Guess what? That shit is still delicious. Extra crispy. I'm sorry, but KFC is still the bomb diggity.
The best fast food chicken I ever ate is a California chain.
Which was?
Foster's.
Foster's. Wow.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Foster's, they just grow chicken. They don't sell it.
No, Northern California, they have Foster's chicken. It's like KFC. They did when I lived there.
I'm so glad it just occurred to me how off the rails we've gone. Like we went from talking about a ban on a Muslim ban to like sushi to like what's the best fried chicken. I love it. It's a super duper stream of consciousness show. However, we can here watch this. But avocados are about to get more expensive, Liberty Gypsy, because of the trade war coming with Mexico. See what I did there? I got us right back around.
We grow those in Texas.
Yeah, we do. And people bring on the trade war with Mexico.
No.
No, what? What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
No. First of all, the plan that's being proposed, the tax reform plan.
Build that wall.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. But the tax reform plan that's being proposed is that you, the American consumer, would pay a tax on all imports. You want to know how much stuff we actually don't make here? Like, no textiles. None at all.
They'll have to come back.
I know, but do you know how long that will take to happen? I've greenfielded manufacturing facilities. To come up to capacity? No. It's insane.
To capacity? I don't care about capacity. No, bring it back. Bring it back. You got to find some balance. Mexico needs us more than we need them.
Oh, I'm not denying it, but I want my strawberries in the winter, and I want them to be $2.99.
Well, guess what? They might go up to $3.20.
You know,
I don't
do
care.
You remember
in
a true trade war? And remember, this being proposed is not just Mexico; it's all imports. We don't grow pineapples here. I like pineapple.
See, I don't.
Okay, I do. So when you look at the whole thing, I just think it's going to be shocking to certain segments who really drum. Yeah. Let's just get in a trade war. How much stuff we don't make here, and how much more your regular grocery bill, your regular trip to Walmart, and just the things you do every day is going to be.
Well, you know what? Let's get there. Let's start with Mexico. Let's renegotiate NAFTA. Let's get that shit straightened out. And then I'll spot you the extra 15 cents for your pineapple.
But here's the thing. I want to renegotiate NAFTA. I want them to lift the tariffs on us.
Trump will do it. It'll happen.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to impose tariffs on other countries. I want Trump to say, to get our market, you have to stop putting a tariff on our stuff.
Yeah.
That's a much better plan. I love it.
I think that's probably what'll happen. I think it'll all be okay.
And if you can build the wall
in
a budget, and this is not currently the case, without a deficit that does not add to our debt, I'm all for it. Go ahead. It's a vanity project, but whatever.
I think we're going to save a boatload of money. I think that wall pays for itself. Just no, you're keeping people from coming across. Bibi Netanyahu's like, hey, I built a wall. That sucker works like a charm. Let's do one of those.
So much shorter and so much easier to patrol.
You know what? They said the same thing about the railroad. They said we're crazy for trying to build a railroad. In fact, let's build let's build a wall that has a railroad on top of it. That way, when illegals try to cross it, like, ooh, here comes a train. And then we can ship goods and services across our giant railroad wall.
You all forget El Chapo.
What about El Chapo?
Did you not see that frickin' tunnel?
Oh, that was great. We can handle tunnels. Handle tunnels. Yeah.
We didn't handle his very well.
No, that was the Mexican people who ran that prison. They didn't handle his tunnel very well. They're always going to try to tunnel under San Diego. Oh my gosh, life is handing me lemons and I'm making lemonade. Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, out of business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where are those elephants going to go? I'll tell you, the wall. We
Oh
put
my
the
God.
elephants, and they stomp around, and you have cave-ins whenever people are trying to tunnel out. We just sprinkle a bunch of peanuts around. The elephants go up and down the wall. They patrol it. That and hello, tourist attraction. Now we're making money.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Well, I'm a
And
visionary.
then I have
A lot of people
also,
said Walt Disney was crazy.
I have also lived in a port city.
Of
And
course
the-
you did when you were 8 and you were first learning how to read the future.
No,
in
when I
tea
was in
leaves.
when I was in Savannah, when I was working at a manufacturing
Ghost hunter.
facility.
When you were a ghost hunter.
No, I wasn't a ghost hunter. I had an office window that looked out on the Savannah River and saw all the container ships going by.
I'm not
We're just
saying
going
you
to
weren't
get
doing
container
well.
ships full of them. Hmm?
I said, I'm not saying you weren't doing well as a ghost hunter. I'm sure you had an office. No, you would look at the container ships full of what?
Container ships full of goods being shipped to the United States that literally get dropped on a truck that drives out of the port.
Yeah.
You close the border, they will go into containers and they will come in that way because they're not well patrolled and they can't be for logistical reasons.
So you're saying
all
there's
you're
nothing we
doing
can
is
do?
you're
We have
going
to
to
be okay with
invest.
illegal immigration?
I'm not okay with illegal immigration. I think there's other things we can do, like stop paying people to come here.
Okay, I'm down with that.
I think, before you do the wall, let's cut
No.
off the bennies and see what happens.
Oh, you do both hand in hand. But we got to build that wall. It's going to be awesome.
I
be
don't
great.
think we have to build the wall. And you know what else the Trump administration probably won't do that the Obama administration did?
Lie.
Well, I'm not going to say
What?
they're not going to do that because that would, for politics, that would be asking a lot.
Right.
Spin goes to lie on a very slippery slope. So,
Yes.
but no, the Obama administration actually funded billboards in Central America where the majority of the border problem comes from, not Mexico.
Oh, goodness gracious, yeah.
Saying, oh, look what you can get if you come to America. In Central American newspapers, the U.S. policy regarding immigrants was published. There was so much encouragement that was funded by our own Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
It caused the influx. We're probably not going to be doing that anymore, I would think.
No, and I think the comic book, I literally have seen comic books that are available in Mexico when the people from Central America are coming up if they somehow get to Mexico and they're going to make that trip because Mexico's like, you can't stay here, you got to keep it moving. They give them these comic books that are like, make sure you are wearing comfortable shoes, make sure you have water, here's the phone number of the people you want to call when you get there, here's how you get the goods and the services. Yeah, I think that should take a back seat as well.
Well,
Anyway,
maybe here's an even better idea. If they come in here, they got to go to Canada.
Oh, yeah, Justin Trudeau. I
Keep
swear.
going. Justin wants you. Go.
Yep.
Go.
Justin said you guys could go there.
Yep.
There you go. Welcome to Quebec. Welcome to Quebec. But this was a very man, oh man, I knew I should have written it down when I saw it. But their economy is doing quite well. The Germans. And they have, because everybody's like, here's what I keep hearing, and I know we've said it before on this show. You can do whatever you want. Robots are coming. And those jobs aren't coming back because the robots are coming, which they are. However,
Not for everything.
Germany has the most the advanced robotics and the most robotic manufacturing. However, they have a huge the amount of people in the workforce. They've managed to find the balance there somehow.
Well,
So it can be done.
they have this really, really, really nifty collective bargaining structure, and I'm sorry, this is my master's degree, that we don't want here. I promise you.
Okay, I'm just saying they got robots and they still have jobs, so it can be done. Not that I want to emulate exactly what they're doing. I'm just saying it can be done.
Well, part of their secret is you have to have consensual bargaining, so the union actually has to agree to stuff. So if you put in robots that can do more, you still can't fire people until the union agrees.
Bum, bum, bum.
It's
Speaking
not
of
a
which-
huge secret. It's just not well publicized.
How about Donald Trump meeting with the union dudes the other day?
I had a little Twitter conversation with one of my favorite journalists, Selena Zito, and I hope we get a chance to interview her. I really like her. And she was talking about meeting with the unions, et cetera, et cetera. I said, well, lady, what do you think? We getting the Blue Dog Democrats back? She said, I'm writing a piece on that this weekend. This is exactly what happened under Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
The Democratic Party has moved so far left that it has abandoned a huge constituency in the working class, regardless of their color.
I tell you what, I want to keep that on the low down.
Oh, they already know it.
They're doing such identity politics. It's fantastic to watch. It's like they don't realize it, and I don't want people to draw attention to it, because I'm like, no, you're doing great. You're doing great.
They already know.
What do you mean?
Do you know how I know?
How?
Big Politico article earlier this week. The Democrats went on a retreat. Part of the presentation was how to talk to regular people.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, like members of the press got a hold of the agenda, but they didn't allow the press in. There was literally things titled along the lines of how to talk to working class voters.
That's great.
Oh my God, I was dying. I'm like, maybe don't go to Pennsylvania and say you're going to kill the coal industry.
They are so far out of touch. I was watching one of my favorite shows, that Joy Reid show on Sundays on MSNBC, and they're talking about what the Democrats need to do. We've got to get a woman of color in charge. We got to get a woman of color in charge.
Donna Brazil's already been in charge.
I know, and I'm sitting there thinking, why? Like, why? And
you know who they need to put in charge of the DNC?
Who?
Is actually the guy that ran against Pelosi. If you look at him, he's working class, blue collar, from the Rust Belt. He knows the exact people that the Democrats have abandoned. If they want to be successful, they need somebody like him, not somebody like Donna Brazil.
Well, I hope they find a Muslim woman of color who is transitioning into being a man that wants to urinate in the center of Dodger Stadium on a Tuesday afternoon. And if we don't like it, then we're racist. That's who they need to find.
I think they're gonna end up with Ellison.
Oh, that'll be great too.
Yeah, no,
that'll be great too.
Great.
Okay, moving on.
Oh, because I just want to quick though.
Go ahead.
Do you know who gave one of the talks about how to talk to regular people? And you'll appreciate this because of where you live.
Okay, who?
Dianne Feinstein.
Oh boy, that's just fantastic. It gives me hope for the future.
There you go.
It really gives me hope for the future because, I really think, and this is why we do the Loftus Party website. This is why I do the Flipside television show. This is why we do this podcast, because Trump will go away. Trump will go away, and then what? I'm always thinking about, and this is what I like about libertarians, and this is what I like about most conservatives, is they're thinking, and then what? Right? Mm-hmm. If we do this, then what happens? I love it. If we give away this freedom, then what happens to our freedom? If we stop doing this, how are blah, 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 blah. But I'm already thinking, what happens after Donald Trump? I don't know who the next up and comer is, and who's going to defend the Constitution and my right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness. So I'm always we gotta try to make more conservatives. We got to make more libertarians. We got to make more freedom-loving people.
Well,
we got to make the anti-Shia LaBeouf is what we need to make.
Oh my God,
that is the gift that keeps on giving.
I know. Dude, just stop. You probably shouldn't go into crowds of any kind.
Seriously, I'm worried about the guy. At first I was entertained, but now I'm really starting to question a lot of his choices, and I hope he's okay. I honestly mean that. I saw Shia a few months ago in my neighborhood in Los Angeles. He didn't appear to be all there, and it was Shia, and he was not having a good day. I'll just say that. But this little art project he's got, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Watching those girls just chant that over and over and over again, that's the commercial. For whoever's running for president next, whoever's running for the Senate or Congress, that is the commercial. Just those two girls mindlessly chanting remember the Moonies?
Yep.
So it was like that. It's like
or
they're
the Manson girls.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now the great thing about this. Go ahead.
You know what I'm breathlessly awaiting?
Your delivery from Adam and Eve. No, what?
Ah, God. No, the next video with the likes of Deborah Messing and Lena Dunham bemoaning this executive order and calling it a Muslim ban. You know they're going to make a video.
Oh, I hope so.
I hope so too, because I will mock it endlessly.
Oh, yeah. Now, the great thing, did you see on the Shia LaBeouf webcam, they're doing the chant, "He will not divide us, he will not divide us," and then some kid standing behind them who's also chanting, "He will not divide us," he's doing like a Benny Hill salute. It's the funniest thing ever. So they're going, "He will not divide us," and now in that little space between the "He will not divide us," the kid goes, "Wee!" And so it's like, "He will not divide us, wee! He will not divide us, wee!" And he was driving them crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy, the one kid finally snaps. It's just like, "Shut up! Shut up!" It was like watching the movie MASH, the original movie MASH, when Hawkeye just gets under what's his dude's skin until he just snaps and comes across the table at him. It was that.
Yep.
It was great and fantastic.
Frank Burns,
played by Bobby Duvall.
You know, the original MASH, even the television show, was so awesome.
Well, the first season was great. I read the book MASH. The book MASH is fantastic. I like Robert Altman's movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then I like season 1 and season 2 of MASH, and then it just became a preacher machine.
Right.
And then it ceased to interest me after that.
Well,
It used to be great.
It's reminiscent of my childhood, along with like All in the Family.
Oh, yeah.
And the Jeffersons, like radically different TV that actually worked and wasn't afraid to bring up controversial issues.
All in the Family, the Carol Burnett show was very funny. Mary Tyler Moore, we just lost Mary.
An awesome woman who refused to be a feminist because they're crazy.
You know, fiercely independent, and God bless her, but like she had her finger on the pulse of America back then. I would invite everybody to look up Mary Tyler Moore on Wikipedia and her production company, MTM.
Mm-hmm.
She just knew what was clicking, and that was great.
We seriously need a new Archie Bunker or a new George Jefferson.
Yeah, we do.
To get this, I mean, these were wildly popular mainstream shows that confronted things that people didn't want to talk about.
People will just get so triggered right now. They would get so triggered. It would just, no network. They all want it, but they're just terrified of it.
There's got to be somebody who could pull it off. I believe that.
They're boycotting Uber right now.
What?
Oh, you haven't seen this? The hashtag has been trending because because of the quote unquote Muslim ban, the taxi guys went on strike at JFK. So everybody was calling Uber, and Uber's like, "I'll go. I need the money."
Exactly.
So today, the left and the angry liberals are saying boycott Uber. Oh, because that won't make every Uber driver vote Republican. Like, right? Like, why punish? Why punish Uber drivers? Like, why? Oh, I'm working hard. I'm trying to feed my family. Which party loves me the most? Oh, well, it's not the Democrats because they're literally smacking the food out of your hand.
Well, here's a big secret that it's probably okay to tell now since these people can't be identified. I went to the Republican National Convention. I used Uber to go back and forth to and from the convention.
Right.
With, for several days, several times a day. Without fail, every single Uber driver was voting Republican.
Oh. Because
the Uber people are already with us.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, but like every time I used to take Uber a lot in Texas, and a lot of those guys were cab drivers.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I drive a cab, and then when I'm not doing that, I'll drive Uber. I make a little bit more money on Uber. It's a little bit easier. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. It makes me sad. It makes me sad. If the cab drivers in New York want to go on strike and stop their busy schedules to protest some bullshit that doesn't even need protesting, don't be surprised when the competition shows up and says, yeah, I'll take those fares.
I think almost in some respects, this is like deliberate on the part of the Trump administration because they are giving these whack jobs on the far left. And I'm sorry, if you are far left progressive and you actually listen to Joyanne Reid and Sally Cohn and think they make sense, you're beyond help.
Yeah.
They are giving them so many targets that even with the outrage machine they have built over the last 8 years, they can't hit them all.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
nothing
fantastic.
they attempt to do is going to be impactful enough to make a difference because they're training their fire on too many different targets.
Yeah, too many targets. Trump is just moving too fast. I don't know how long he'll be able to keep up this breakneck pace, but for right now, it's working out well. And just really quickly before we get into Michael Topia's, how about that Secret Service girl?
Oh, she just needs to be fired.
Like, she's on administrative leave or something. She's still getting paid, but like it's like that meme on Twitter. You had one job.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sorry, but when you sign up for the Secret Service, you don't get to say, well, I don't like this president, so I guess I won't defend him or her with my life.
I mean, Dan Bongino is a raging conservative. If he was on Obama's staff, he would have protected Obama. That's just what you do.
That's the gig, man. Mm-hmm. Did we learn nothing from that Clint Eastwood movie? What else did I want to get into? I think the voter fraud thing. That's the other hilarious one that I can't wait to talk about on the TV show. They're like, the Russians hacked the election. The Russians hacked the election. And then Trump goes, well, let's see how many fraudulent votes there were. Let's look into voter fraud. And they're like, well, there is no voter fraud. There's no such thing. So then how did Russia hack the election? I think that, right? If they
right?
Yeah. That
cracks me up. Last week, and I didn't keep it up over the weekend, there was so many squirrels just being thrown out there that meant nothing with him writing executive orders under the radar. I would literally type, well, today's squirrel is, and it would take you like 10 minutes to find it on Twitter. What is everybody at the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, what are they all outraged about? Oh, that's today's squirrel.
Look at this. Look at this. Here's something you've never seen at the White House. He's got a diet soda on the desk. Like, what? Like,
what?
The New York Times. You didn't see that picture?
No.
The New York Times. Here's Donald Trump working. There's something you don't see. And it was like a picture. There was a Diet Coke on the desk, like in a glass. It wasn't even like the can. It's like, really? Like, you're going to waste your valuable time with this? And then the other one they had out there is like, oh, here's Donald Trump working. Notice how there's no pictures of his wife or his family on the desk. What does that have to do with anything? Like, what is that? And that's why I think more and more people are like waking up to, like, that's just you with some crazy narrative trying to, like, what, he's evil? Like, what, why? Why did you take the time to, like, someone wrote that? Like, someone literally took that picture and went, ooh. Are we ready for Michael Topia's?
I need you, after ooh, I need you to repeat because you blanked out.
After ooh, what?
It's like someone was ooh.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I know what I'll write about. Yeah, let's spend a lot of valuable time on this. Let's show America this. What the heck?
All she did was offend you as a, significant fan of the Gray Lady, so.
Exactly. All right, so we got to do some Michael Topias and wrap this puppy up.
Yes, we do.
I got a couple of zingers in the chamber, but I'm gonna let you go first. Now, for our listeners, here's how Michael Topia works. There's a lot of crazy rules and regulations in the regular world. Well, we don't have those in Michael Topia because we have our own rules that make sense. So here with this week's Michael Topia, let's fire it up with the Liberty Gypsy.
In Michael Topia, if you are the president of the United States, you refuse, or president of Michael Topia, I guess it would be.
Sure.
You would refuse to sign any bill that dealt with more than one issue. So, one issue, one bill. No riders, no nothing.
I am so behind that, I couldn't be behind it anymore. It's always disgusting. We're like, okay, we want to pass this law to make sure that poison is not getting into America's rivers. Well, hold up. I can't vote for that appropriate. I can't vote for that unless you put on, we need iPhone covers made out of Bing Bang Boom. And if you got the table leg quandary of the Binga Banga Bang. It drives me nuts. I love it. One bill, one issue.
I would love, now that we have a CEO as president, if he would just do that. I swear to God, I would have to give him total props And most CEOs like that. Tell me what this is about, and they want to hear about one thing.
Yep. No riders.
No riders.
In Michaeltopia, if your own citizens need $221 million so they can have fresh drinking water come out of the tap, you don't give $221 million to the Palestinians. Obama, as he's walking out the door, tries to chuck $220 million to the Palestinians, while the people of Flint, Michigan need $221 million so they can have some pipes so they can get the lead out of their water. That's an outrage. I can't believe people aren't in arms about it.
But Obama did it.
Right? Exactly. Right? Exactly. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. You got another one?
In Michaeltopia, you are not allowed to play Cards Against Humanity with your children.
Yeah. I'm in agreement there. I haven't even played this game, and it sounds like it could go really south really fast.
Well, part of the problem is you find out exactly what your kids know at a certain age, and you're like, damn.
Right? And then, you have to kind of play stupid, like, I've never heard of anal bleaching. What in the world? What are they doing back there?
Oh, when we're at this, when we go to this conference at DC, I am bringing the box, and several of the Loftus party members will be playing the game.
It's too funny. It's too funny. People have got to get rid of the sticks. Get rid of the sticks, America. Okay, here's mine. In Michaeltopia, you're not allowed to cherry pick quotes, no matter which side of the aisle you're on. It drove me crazy when they did it to Donald Trump, and it's driving me crazy when they're doing it to Madonna right now. Right? They cherry pick the quote to make it sound like Donald Trump said all Mexicans are rapists. Now, Madonna said something. She goes, I've thought about blowing up the White House, and I realized that wouldn't help anything. That's how bad it is. I don't even know the rest of the quote. I know the tone of it. She's like, I've thought about blowing up the White House, but I know that's not going to help anything. So that's what she said, that violence is not the answer. And to make it sound like Madonna's out there going, we should blow up the White House, you should be ashamed. Everybody who's cherry-picked that quote should be ashamed.
But if you're the young lady on Twitter who tweeted today, the assassination is taking too long, you should be worried.
Oh, you should be very worried.
Very worried.
You should be very worried. And Speaking of Twitter, Flipside Loftus is the Twitter account of the show, and it's where all the fun is happening. That's ground zero for all the fun. I keep noticing right-wing people are disappearing. It's still happening, and it's very, very – I know Twitter's a private company, and I know evidently freedom of speech doesn't apply there, and I know the same thing with Facebook, but the voice of the right is disappearing, and it's methodical, and it's frightening. Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know. I've survived for 3 years, and I have an awfully big mouth.
Well, hey, listen, I'm all for freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to say some stupid crap and you're on the left, that's fantastic. If you're on the right and you want to say some stupid crap, that's fantastic. As long as you're not inciting violence or like fire in a movie theater. But you just, it seems to me, and you'll hear a lot of, people, well, these are like white supremacists and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. They should be protected. Their speech.
Here's the great thing about people like that. The more they talk, the dumber they sound.
Oh my gosh. And has everybody forgotten the power of ignoring people? Like, it always, like, people do this, and I know we're going long, and I apologize, and blah, blah, blah. However, like, I remember the Klan, when I was a kid, the Klan used to go to Columbus, Ohio, and they'd have a big rally on the State House lawn. And, when I was in college, we felt, let's go and make fun of them. Let's go and rah, rah, rah. And I went, to like be an anti-Klan. And then I realized all we're doing is just drawing attention. Just hold a rally and nobody shows up, or that's the ultimate. Let them have their rally. Just don't show up.
Well, that's because you have common sense and you're not trying to purport a narrative. The reason the left likes to shine a light on these people is because they like to associate them with the right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's wonderful. And that's, it's hilarious. Oh, I just want to leave. I had the most fun on Twitter yesterday. Some days Twitter is more fun than other days, but like John Fuselgang, a buddy of mine, he's a big big time lefty. When the quote unquote Muslim ban went in effect, he was like he tweeted this thing like Jesus showed up at Terminal 4, and because he had dark skin and didn't speak English and was from the Middle East, he was turned away. And it was like all supposed to be like dramatic and thoughtful. And I had like 5 answer tweets that had me like I was crying. I was laughing so hard. And I'm like, I hope he was headed to Israel because he's a Jew, and they're not going to let him land anywhere else. And then then another one's like, then Jesus got bummed out because they made him recheck his bag, and Jesus had to pay $25 more.
Oh my God!
And I'm like, Jesus was asked to move to a middle seat.
Oh my God!
Jesus patiently waited for his Diet Coke. He's like, this is taking too long. It was hilarious.
Oh my God! I have to go back and look for those because those will make me laugh. You think John will block you for those?
No, what? I even said, like, in the middle of it, I'm like, John is a buddy of mine, and I know the point he's trying to make. I'm just having some fun now.
Okay.
And I'm like, Jesus sat in the middle seat waiting for his Diet Coke. This is taking too long. Not cool, thought Jesus. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. All right, we had a great show. This is a great time. Big news coming up in the future. We got new Flipside tapings going on at Hermosa Beach. I'm going to be doing some stand-up in New York. Other wonderful things are happening. We'll get you caught up to speed. Hopefully more next week, yeah?
Yeah.
All righty, so have a great week, America. Remember, there's no such thing as a Muslim ban. I'm Michael Loftus. That's the Liberty Gypsy. We'll see you guys next time. Hey, America, you have found it. It's the Loftus Party. We got a big show. So much to talk about this week. So much. It's a little different. We got a little curveball. Of course, we're joined again by the one and only Liberty Gypsy. I don't know where you've parked your caravan this week, but hopefully somewhere great. How's it going, Stace?
It's going very